welcome everybody to today's stream. My name is Jolly Green. I'm the Jolly Green Gamer. Today we are playing Kona. And we're in Rosaire's house. Alright, so...
Dans mon temps, c'était comme sur l'image. On était vrai, fiers, forts, puis on avait le bon lieu de notre bord.
We gave you your bottle of caribou. You got the coat. Let's go.
The old man's cabin had been very generous to Carl. He couldn't have asked for more.
Are we going this way? Alright, so where are we? Go all the way down. Break this lock. Snowmobile ski.
The man seemed petrified in ice. What Carl saw terrified him, and he didn't know if it was the fear or the cold that was responsible for his hair standing on end all over his body.
Hi, Honest
The
Twilight.
poor man, before being frozen solid, seemed to be defending the entrance to his cabin. But from what?
Alright, well, we passed all this stuff before. That's right, I need to figure out how to get that, whatever he threw up there.
Something very important must have been in there for the man to take such time and effort to hide it. But Carl didn't know how to reach it.
Alright, so let's get out of this shed. I need to figure out how to get up there.
Carl had a hunch that there had got to be a plan somewhere that could help him put this thing back together. Carl hadn't lived up to his good finder reputation. He still hadn't found any of the wealth contained in Lamotte's lands. The milk was sorted by color, from the whitest to the greenest, or in other words, from the freshest to the sourest. Perhaps someone was expecting an important call. In any case, that person's in for a long wait. Carl already noticed that telephone services weren't provided in this area. Seems like the elements showed mercy to those nice and solid-looking planks.
Oh, that's how I get over there. I gotta build a bridge, but I need a hammer first.
nice catio. They say it's supposed to soothe the soul. But with this powerful gale that seemingly never sleeps, it was far more likely to get on anyone's nerves.
All right. So we got the plans.
Roswell, Atamipek, same story. Large deserts conducive to extravagant follies. Weird stuff. Kind of a crossing between a colander and a hairdryer. What was it for? To play telepath?
Got the
To
hammer.
protect against nuclear waves? By following the plan, Carl was led to believe that the snowmobile's parts had to be scattered about in the vicinity.
Need the handlebars still.
Carl had no idea how to interpret a message like that. On the surface, it seemed like he had one half too many of this puzzle. Enough to know he shouldn't take this testimony as gospel. The entire thing, being some punishment for a murder committed by Hamilton, seemed like an outlandish theory. Carl was doubtful.
All right, so this paper says, I saw something in the woods on the solemn day of October 6, 1970. No man should ever see. The aliens are here. They are roaming in our woods. They will invade us all from here down to sunny Mexico. They are massive, twice as tall as man. They are half man, half caribou, half wolf. I'm sure the fact that I saw them means they broke their military code. They are after me. If you're reading this, it's too late. I've already been taken to the planet Elohim to be experimented upon in a lab. They are punishing me for not doing anything when I witnessed that murder yesterday, when I saw William Hamilton kill someone. Farewell. So that's what was in that bucket. He threw in that bucket. It's a piece of paper. So, we need the handlebars. I feel like the handlebars I can get from this. But where do I get these damn handlebars? They're traps. Nothing in there.
To all appearances, Carl concluded, the owner of the place had moved more essentials from his house inside the garage. Peculiar man indeed.
Hey, handlebars.
The week of October 5th, thought Carl. That was this week. The plug should have been here by now. The shape of this machine, almost straight out of Star Trek, was out of the ordinary to say the least. It felt like this thing could fly up into space at any moment.
Okay.
The very first steps of man on the moon were made more than a year ago. The event had surely captivated the mechanic's mind for him to still keep this around.
Alright. You got the handlebars.
A bit of gas, a new spark plug, and a key, and this thing would run perfectly. All he needed to do now was to find all that.
Alright, so now I need to find the spark plug and a key.
These scribblings were undoubtedly the mark of a tormented mind. Something wasn't right in the poor mechanic's head. What good was a motorless car? The mechanic sure had an odd way to go about repairing things.
Where is this spark plug and keys? There's some duct tape. Like, we've already been through this entire area several times. Should have come across it. Nothing in that bag? I can't go that way.
Carl still wasn't done with the mechanic's place.
Like, I don't understand what's with the stone piles. I feel like this is where we would take the snowmobile. Hey, it's a wolfie. Run! Okay. So the wolf will not follow you. Alright, well, let's go back. Go back here, because, yeah, this is where you would take the snowmobile So I have no idea where I need to go.
Well, this truck's not going anywhere. Where were the amputated parts? Carl grinned as he pictured a Frankenstein-esque car lying around somewhere made of parts from a dozen different vehicles. I feel like that the spark plug isn't here. It was an indisputable fact that machines like this entailed a level of intellectual finesse that Carl was lacking.
How many flying saucer in that platinum says is me. So wait, what was the purpose of fixing this flying saucer? And what's the purpose of keeping a ladder up there? You need a ladder to get the ladder.
Carl deducted this was a map of the area. Were those pins pointing to places of interest? Carl still wasn't done with the mechanic's place.
I have ammo for a gun that I don't have.
The cold seemed to be more brutal here than anywhere else. It seeped into bones and into every breath to get to the heart until it stopped. Carl needed to be dressed in warm clothes to survive. Luckily, he had the coat to protect him from the biting cold. A fire can't be started with a snap of the fingers.
Oh, I need my wood. Alright, well then. Come on, let's run. Alright, so we got our wood. We can start a fire. Okay, so it just loops back. Venture further.
Another instance of this magic ice. What was this one doing, lying on the ground, so afraid? The plot thickened like water into ice. He had been running in fear from something creeping towards him, against which he couldn't do anything, only to end up like this, petrified and cold. It seemed as though Regin had been ready to take up arms and slay people like Hamilton. Could he have committed murder for his cause? Who could have gotten killed in front of his very eyes?
Notifications. Some bombs. Duct tape. Grab a piece of wood. Some cigarettes. Some more ammo. A Lee Enfield rifle. Why sleep at home when you can sleep in a cave? I found the rifle. Good. Oh. Just leads back down here.
Ice seemed to take over this place like mold. That wall wasn't there earlier. How was he going to get out of here?
Yeah, it wasn't there. How am I gonna get out? Smuggled booze. This wasn't here earlier either.
Carl suddenly felt observed. He was worried about a presence around him. Alright. Dynamite. No stone can withstand the force of dynamite.
See, I didn't go into that cave. I didn't go into Lachance. I didn't go into Bedard. I didn't go to Roy. Went to Old Rosaire. I don't know if I had been to Lowen. House of the Patriot. More cigarettes.
The rag reeked of fermented vomit. Carl wondered how one could bear to live in such gross and horrid conditions.
Drawers are overrated.
Carl knew right away that the owner of this place wasn't a copper collector. No, this was a junkman's base of operations. The guy definitely seemed like quite the expert in scavenging scrap metal, with or without permission, surely. In the right hands, red metal could sell like hotcakes. Rock music invaded the minds of men even in the remotest of places. The man didn't own a turntable, though, so there's that going for him. Back then, in Africa and elsewhere, people were ready to take up arms to stand against the yoke of English imperialism. In Montreal, mailboxes were blown up, abductions were carried out, and violent manifestos were distributed to media outlets. But around here, in the great northernmost, all a man could do is curse out loud against a faraway evil and pray for the revolution to arise. That man, by any reckoning, was from that very stock.
I don't think we checked out the doctor's place. Okay, so we're almost there. Oh, I think we have been in here. But just to be sure. Okay, yeah, we were here before. Alright, let's continue on down this way. Come on, let's go where I want to go.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out. Alright, so we're right by the first house that we need to go to. Go to the other day, Martin and I were taking a stroll not far from your house, and suddenly at the door to your shed was open. I wanted us to mind our own business, but Martin likes living on the edge. She took a few shiny things, including some bullets.
Now my dad always told me never to play with those things, so I immediately put them back. But Martin did the other things. I confess, Mr. Roy, I have so many regrets. But you mustn't call the police. You won't call them, will you? My father will be so angry. Or bring back all of your things, I promise. Under the dark. Alright. Roy's house. Now I know we've never been to Roy's house. From G and Roy. We fled it. It was getting too dangerous. More people live in North Manistan. It will be safer there. G and Roy. Empty bottle.
It was a classic Canadian house, except for the absent horde of kids that would normally be swarming about. Just one more move and white is checkmated. Game over. It seems the game was abandoned right before the final strike came down.
Cookie jars are always too high to reach.
The photograph was snapped not too far from here, Carl noticed. The couple seemed to be very good friends. A picture of Wilfred in his youth. Carl figured right away that the man must have been some kind of wildlife officer. Not a single weapon was left. All of them were gone. All manners of clothing were gone, as if the Rois drove out of town with their closet in tow.
We didn't find page 1.
The couple radiated something akin to lightheartedness, to freedom. Perhaps some people out there truly found a way to live happily ever after.
check out if there's anything else over here. Alright, now we're at the guards.
A true Catholic always strives to keep lowly temptations at bay. Obviously, Carl thought, someone in this house wasn't doing a good job at upholding the Holy Bible's teachings.
Inventory, small key.
What was even the point of locking your door if everyone hid their key in the same place? Carl was starting to feel like his investigator life lacked challenge. The house smelled like incense. Reminds you of the good Lord, of peace.
Yeah, food for rough times.
Religion was very influential throughout Quebec many years ago. Indeed, it was surprising that Carl did not come across a single chapel since arriving here.
honest mistake.
Who knew that giraffes thrived in the North Pole? The craze for toys was stupefying. Love of religion and ancestors was rooted deep inside the hearts of Canadians of old, to which the Bedards appeared to be closely related. The family's mother must have spent her days washing the filth off her kids' diapers. The empty cradle sent an eerie feeling down Carl's spine, as if minutes ago someone just grabbed the baby and made a run for it. The Bedards had vacated the premises. Carl gathered they would be of no help. Dream catchers originated from First Nations legends. They were used to trap nightmares. Shame that the family had bailed. Carl would have had a few questions for Jean-Luc, a close friend of Hamilton's.
Alright. Alright, well, there's not really anything this way, so let's go back.
The crossbow bolt stuck into the wooden stairs reminded Carl of the arrow that was said to have hit Achilles' heel. But who was the intended Achilles this time? The air was freezing, right down to the bone. Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay. That window had seemingly been left open for a while, Carl thought. Given the punishing weather, it couldn't have been intentional. Carl felt a cool, tingling sensation in his back. Another vision took over him. Something was hidden under the stairs. The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him. Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately. It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
In the floorboards?
The vision's veil was lifted, and he was back to reality. A reality in which Giselle, Jill's loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice. Carl had seen that kind of safe before. With its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers, its code couldn't be broken by the common burglar.
No, I need to find...
Ah, moving. What a pleasant activity. Of course, you'll find the record player only to find the records weeks later in some random box. It felt like old people were all these walls could see for years. The Lachances could hardly be blamed for wanting to freshen things up a bit. A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days. Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachances had just moved in. A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days. Beautiful portrait of Gilles and Giselle, bound together by the chains of conventional love.
Alright, I need to find the code.
What a mess. Clearly, there was some major revamping work underway here. The place looked barely habitable.
$3 o'clock.
pot was cold, and the stew inside wasn't cooked. It's likely that poor Giselle was slow cooking it before she got snapped. What a waste.
Another steak. I mean, the code has to be here somewhere, doesn't it?
Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachauses had just moved in.
Documents. Oh my goodness, I got a lot of documents. No.
The general store, along with several more infrastructures in the area, had been acquired by wealthy industrialist William J. Hamilton. Perhaps the village should be rechristened Hamiltown.
Well, we can come back to this at some point, so let's go this way. Okay.
That had to be the worst parking job ever. Who was Carl to judge, though? It may be customary to park like that around these parts. Or not.
I know we've already been here.
A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
I need a spark plug.
The crowbar was stuck under the lift. Notwithstanding Carl's imposing stature, car lifting wasn't part of his skill set yet. Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Their license plate says ho ho ho.
At long last, the crowbar was within Carl's grasp. Surely it would come in handy at some point.
Oh, there's that.
Carl was beginning to know the store and its surroundings like the back of his hand. The seeker had sought. It was a typical shack, just like the ones you hear about in Quebecois legends. Local lumberjacks used it to rest and twice a day heat up their pea soup. Who quits a game one step away from victory?
Another empty bottle.
This cabin doesn't look like a bunkhouse, especially with the woven chimney. Carl was intrigued at the secrets possibly hidden here.
Alright, so the key that I have doesn't go to this either. Let's go back to the car, because it's going to help us go through this faster. Let's deposit the hatchet. Let's deposit beer bottle, cigarettes. I don't really need the flashlight. Where is it? We got the flashlight. We don't really need the lantern.
The crossbow bolts had the same origin. Carl was sure of it. Who was it? And more importantly, What was being hunted like this? Without a single window to brighten things up, the inside of the cabin was almost pitch black. Beware of close encounters of knee and furniture.
Any logs out here that I can grab for fire? No.
Solitaire, a card game only hermits can truly enjoy. Carl felt depressed at the thought of playing this.
This toothbrush is still wet. Suitcase with clean clothes. Alright.
Everything was set up for a well-deserved snack. It seemed like the place hadn't been empty for long, but without knowing exactly why, Carl had the feeling no one was coming back anytime soon.
Ah! Grab some wood.
The leftover food, the clothes, the general warmth of the place, no evidence of escape. Carl was sure of it. People were here not long ago, and they expected to come back.
The house to the left, up ahead.
A wintry atmosphere surrounded the house. The soundlessness of the area suggested it was empty. When finding a boot, one wonders what became of the foot.
Spirograph, I remember those.
The spirograph amused Carl. It was a nice modern toy, aside from being repetitive by nature and completely useless. Still, it found its way into many Quebecois homes.
Another attached wire.
The key, which seemed to be meant for a padlock, bore an inscription reading Cloutier et Fils. A company name. Better keep an eye open. Businesses weren't exactly numerous around these parts. Money in a jar. What a shame. Carl would have loved cookies. A pay stub for some undoubtedly harsh lumberjack work. Alexandre Blais felled trees and chopped woods for Cloutier et Fils.
There's that company name again.
A window left open in that weather? Perhaps something had to be watched.
Le Manche. So there's a monster out there. Okay. How did that wolf get in here? Another building with a locked door.
Carl's big fingers prevented him from reaching the key.
Ah. So I need a magnet. I have no idea where I'm gonna get the magnet. Alright, let's go back to junkyard. Ow. I'm a terrible driver.
Carl still wasn't done with the mechanic's place.
No, but I do know that there's something out here.
Carl never thought he would be dancing with the wolves. blood, and the shape of the hole in the ground left no room for doubt. Someone had been buried here. Someone whose life had been taken with blunt force. Where was the body now? Why had it been buried, only to be dug up later? Carl felt as though he was shrouded in fog.
Secret project.
That large antenna in the middle of the path, undoubtedly ideal in attempting to communicate with little green men, was quite awkwardly placed. There had to be a lever to control it, maybe behind it. Carl would have to figure out how to reach it.
Nothing.
The electric terminals appeared to be linked together, but for what purpose?
Okay, so I want the positive.
Carl rejoiced at the unexpected source of heat, but not as much as his freezing hands.
This cord. Camera. It's supposed to open. broke. Why? This puzzle is weird. I have duct tape. Let me use it to fix these wires. So much wires. Well, it's been 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We can figure this out next time. Check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already. It's under the same name as my Twitch channel. And give me a like, subscribe, comment there, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Join me next Thursday for some Cult of the Lamb, and see you then. Until then, have a good week. Bye.